In this next video, we will look at how to process an 85 authorization for a preventative services case in which the client has employment income. Again, many of the steps will be the same as demonstrated in the previous videos. Therefore, I will be moving through some of the steps rather quickly. AKK 0 is oftentimes not available on 85 cases. However, all information needed to complete the case is contained on the 85. Additionally, you will want to check the AKK 0 to ensure that the family is not receiving any type of kinship care funds. If they are receiving kinship care funds, they cannot be processed as a CCP case. Before we get started, we'll take a second to review the 85 to ensure that all the information is present, including the justification. We see that we've got a twist number, the eligibility start and end dates are here. The client's social and birth date, name, address, and phone number are available. We also have the client's income and the child's information. Provider information is there, along with what care is needed and when. Finally, we have the justification for referral. It states here that Lucy must have child care services to comply with a court order to find and keep employment as a condition for keeping the child in the home. That does seem like a good justification, and so we'll move forward with processing the case in KICS. My search for Lucy has provided no results, and therefore I will need to start a new case. Using the information found on the 85, I have filled out the information needed in the KICS demographics section and am now ready to move on to the authorization section. At the authorization screen, I'm going to add the specifics from the 85 regarding the authorization. As you recall, all P&P cases have a twist number, and that twist number is located in the upper left-hand corner of the 85 in the first spot. Without the twist number, we would not be able to proceed with the authorization. Pick our authorization type, which in this case is preventative services. Our eligibility type, which is CCP. Authorizing office, which is Fayette County P&P. Our authorizing worker, who we can see on the 85 is Betty Lomax. Our authorization start and end dates, which on the 85 indicate January 19th through July 19th. From this point, we will save the authorization and move on with the interview, filling in information from the 85 as appropriate. We'll take a second again to look at the 85 and see if there's any other information from the 85 that needs to be put into KICS. And as we can see, our client does have employment income, and so we will need to add some employment to this KICS case. It does not appear that any other income is being received, earned or unearned, and there's nothing on the authorization that indicates that our client is taking classes. So from the authorization screen, we will move on to employment, where we will enter the new employment for our client. We'll do so by adding a new employment. We will assume that she's working in Fayette County, and the employer's name, which was McDonald's. Since we are unsure of which McDonald's she's working at, we'll just pick the one that says Lexington, Kentucky. For the start date, I will be using the eligibility and authorization start date. For the pay frequency, we will look back to the 85 to get that information. As we can see, she is making $500 monthly at McDonald's. So we will choose a frequency of monthly and enter the amount of $500. In the hours per week section, we will use a default amount of 20. We will save this information and move on through the interview. As you will recall from the 85, the client has no other earned or unearned income and is not going to school for anything, so we can move on to the eligibility process screen. At the eligibility process screen, you will notice that we have two options for eligibility type: CCIE for an income-based client, and this is because the client does have income and employment information, as well as CCP because the client is under a P&P authorization. Because of the P&P authorization, we will be choosing the CCP eligibility type. Again, you will notice that although our interview date is on January 28th, our eligibility start date is on January 19th, and this is because of the information entered in the authorization screen. Our eligibility redet date is correct, and our reason for care will be preventative. From here, we will hit Next. Verify all the information on the screen is correct, including the employment information. As you recall, the income information will not show until we have finished the case. Although the 91 still needs to be signed and returned, I have gone ahead and indicated that no documents are needed to complete and approve the case. From here, we will move to the Case Forms page to print the application in 91. As you remember, the 90 and the 91 are found on the same document under the heading of the 90. You will choose this document for printing by requesting the form. Once you have printed the application and the 91, you will want to sign them both. The application is placed in the case file and the 91 is set aside to be sent with the 90F to the client. From here, you will move to Enrollment Summary. Using the information provided on the 85, you will need to enroll the child with a provider. As we can see on this 85, the child is to be enrolled with National Academy on Arbor Drive. He also has a Monday through Friday schedule and is to be at a licensed or certified center. We'll add the child's enrollment. And we're going to choose the CLR number that matches the appropriate daycare center. Our care start date will be the 19th of January, the same day as the eligibility start date, and we will not be using non-traditional hours. We'll hit Save, and we'll add a schedule. Because we know the schedule is Monday through Friday, we will choose a weekly schedule, which automatically gives the child Monday through Friday full days. Hit Save, and return to Enrollment Summary. At Enrollment Summary, we will need to print the certificate and the 94C. Do so by first allocating the copay, and then clicking on the daycare's name under Certificates. Put a check mark in the box labeled 94C and select Create. Once you've created your 94C, you will want to send a copy to the provider for signatures and keep a copy in the case file. Now that we have entered everything from the 85 into the KIC system, we need to go ahead and create our 90F and 105. Here on the 90F, we have given the client 20 days to return the 91. We have indicated that date both here and also down here. If the client fails to return the 91 within the first 20 days, we will follow up with a 105 advising of case termination. You will complete the 105 as well to advise the client of case approval. Be sure to indicate the dates the case is approved from, any copay, and which children have been approved for assistance. You will also indicate the number of household members and any income or deductions that were reported. You will print copies of the 91, the 90F, and the 105 and send to the client. Also retain copies for your own file. From this point, you will need to enter your case notes according to the approved format. Verification will come from the 85. If you use the Manage Case Change Date option, you will enter a case change date for follow-up 20 days from the day you send the 90F, the same day the 91 is due. If the client fails to return the 91 within the 20 days, you will then proceed with actions to terminate the case, including emailing the DCBS worker to inform them of the impending termination, as well as sending a 105 to the client for the negative action about to take place. This will conclude how to process an 85 authorization for a preventative case in which the client has employment income.